Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Lived and Told. Today here I got Dan,
Yes.
the HOISZN boy,
Yes.
and I've got Dan here today. He's the owner of HOISZN, which is a quarterly art and design magazine
Yes.
that highlights Asian Australian creatives. And you're up to your seventh issue now, I think it is.
Eighth.
Eighth now, sorry. I actually touched it physically just before this, so I should know that. So up to eighth edition, started in December 2023.
Yes.
Yep. So hope I've done you justice there, Dan, with the introduction. But is there anything else you want to add into that at all?
No, I think you well researched.
No, perfect.
Good job.
All right, perfect. Then I always like to start with some icebreakers on the podcast, just so those listening and viewing can get to know you a bit more. So we'll go through some rapid fire questions. So the first one would be, who would you like to be for a day?
Who would I like to be for a day?
Yeah.
I actually would like to be my cat for a day.
Is he or she walking around?
She's not around.
She's not around at
She's
the moment.
hiding, but whenever I work from home and I see my cat just
Yeah.
like sprawled out in the sun, I genuinely think about this all the time. I'm
Yeah.
like, I would love to be my cat.
So if you were, reincarnated, you'd love to be a cat.
I would love to be like someone like a house cat, just like a spoiled house cat. Like I don't want to be one that like goes outside and like has to like
just
dodge the cars and stuff.
Indoor
I want
only.
indoor like nice sunny balcony area. Like chef's kiss. I would love that.
Go
I
on.
would love to trade with my cat one day.
One day, just for a day, just see
Yes.
what it's like. Get all your food given to you, get a nice scratching post and whatnot.
Literally, food on time, like water,
Air
like
conditioner on hot days.
yeah, she's so spoiled.
Your favorite holiday destination that you've either been to or you want to go to?
John both.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, I'm low-key ashamed to say this, but Japan was my favorite place to go to, but that was also like the biggest trip that I've taken in quite some time.
Okay.
And I think it was like the biggest holiday trip that I took with my friends and not with family.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And so I think it was like a lot of firsts
Yeah.
for me. It was a lot of organizing, to be honest. I gotta say, I really enjoyed being in Japan. Like,
Yeah.
and we were there during cherry blossom season as well.
Oh, perfect.
So it was like I feel like it's not that often that tourism actually looks like the ads,
Yeah.
but like this time it did
Did
because
it look better?
yes,
Yeah.
like the cherry blossom was actually very beautiful.
Yeah.
But I will say it was like so much work in the lead up to Japan. Like we had to pre-book so many things.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Because that stuff gets booked out really fast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we went like right after COVID. Like
Oh,
as,
okay.
right as Japan reopened
Yeah.
is when we booked.
Yeah.
So we were like one of the first I guess groups of
tourists
tourists
to
to come through
Was it
after
quiet?
COVID.
Was it quiet when you went?
Well, to be fair, I've only been once, so I have no frame of reference as to
Ah,
how busy
how
Japan
normal
was
it can be,
before
yeah.
and how busy it is now. But
Yeah.
like, it still felt very busy because Japan without tourism is already still very, very populated.
Oh, 100%.
But
yeah.
I still had a really good time. It was like my first time going to a Disneyland, which I had wanted to go to since I was 4.
Yeah.
So like, I got to be like in my early 20s at a Disneyland for the first time in my life
Yeah.
with adult money.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what, this is better. Like, had I gone with my parents
It's
when I was
different.
younger,
Yeah.
they wouldn't have bought me the food. They wouldn't have bought me the merch.
Yeah.
Whereas like, because I went
Yeah.
with my own money, I was like, oh my God, I can get whatever I want. This is great.
It's not saying that family trips are bad, but like you said, like as an adult or, with your friends or with partners or whatever, it's completely different.
Yeah, definitely. It was like I guess it was a holiday that a type of holiday I'd never really experienced before.
Yeah.
Because all of my previous holidays would have been with family. So we would have just done family things, gone to see
Yeah.
people we know or like meet up with people.
Yeah.
So it was really nice to actually like, oh my God, I'm on a holiday. It's my holiday. I get
Yeah.
to do only the things I want to do.
Yeah.
Like it felt like a true holiday.
No, that's awesome. And where's the place you want to go to next?
New York. Well, not next, but I do like. I think it's been on my bucket list for a really long time. I think especially as like a queer person of color, and somebody who's really interested in art and design.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm literally a graphic designer, but
Yeah.
as somebody who exists in those spaces, I think like New York just has so much cultural history around art, around like disco, the ballroom scene, like the queer scene. Like I think New York just has so much culture and history that I think, and everybody tells me that New York is going to be underwhelming. Like everybody tells me, like New York stinks. New York has giant rats, and like I know that,
Yeah.
but I'm still like I just need to be there. Like I just want to.
You want to experience it for
I
yourself.
want to experience it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
100%. It's like, if it's shit, it's shit. If it's great, then it's great. Like, but you want
Exactly.
to experience it firsthand, not someone that's gone there and been like, oh, this is how I found it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think it's just there's so much in my brain. Maybe I've just been brainwashed, but like I really want to be in that space
Yeah.
and live and breathe in that space.
Yeah.
Just for a moment of my life.
Awesome. And your favorite singer or band?
Oh, look, it was Nicki Minaj, but I no longer I don't.
You don't support Nicki. Yeah.
It was a hard decision. I mean,
Yeah.
okay, it wasn't a hard decision to make, but I have cut her out of my music.
Aw.
I'm not.
She's not on the Spotify playlist anymore.
I'm not, unfortunately not into supporting MAGA artists.
Yep.
So currently looking for a new favorite
Alright.
artist.
Taking applications.
Yeah, taking applications.
Yeah.
But I think who did I see recently? Who was good? Oh, I mean, I love Charlie XCX, and
Yeah.
like prior to Brat, I had actually already seen her live like four times.
Oh wow. Okay.
I think 4 times. Like she just like happened to be opening at a lot of concerts that I had been to when I was a teenager.
Yeah, that makes
And
sense.
then I really liked her album Crash, and then she came out with Brat, and I was like, guys, game over. And to be honest, I knew from the first time I saw her as an opening act, I was like, she is so good. Like she's actually kind of underrated, and I was like, I hope she gets her flowers one day.
Yeah.
And I was so happy for her
And she
to
has,
have to have had that moment.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks, Dad. So let's get right into it. HOISZN, in your own words, you said in your own words, you said be on a magazine. Take us right back to the start. Like, where did that come about from, and how did you start this magazine art business?
Yeah, so I had just finished uni, and I was just like kind of between work and gym. Like, I think the only things in my life were literally going to work, going to the gym, and then just going out with my friends.
Yeah.
And I think like prior to that, when I was in uni, I was so used to like extracurricular. So when I was in uni, I was in RMIT Asian Association. So shout out to Ra, if anyone in Ra is listening.
Yeah.
I think that was, I mean, I was in the club for 3 years. So I was really tied to the Asian Australian sort of scene culture, like uni club culture here.
Yeah.
And coming out of uni, I sort of started to miss that. Like, I didn't think that I would miss it, but I was like, oh, like I kind of miss being part of a larger community so actively.
Okay.
And when I was in uni, I did a research project about like Asian Australian identity in art.
Oh, okay.
The tail end of my course was during COVID, so I was very locked in for uni.
Yeah.
But
literally
locked in. But I did a research project around that and just trying to figure out, like, I think this idea of being Asian Australian, being like not quite Asian, like from Asia, growing up in a majority Asian country.
Yeah.
Just kind of like figuring out what does that look like, and I guess how are we so unique and different. I really wanted to spotlight that, and through my research project, it was shown that like there's not a lot of recognition of Asian Australians as a subculture. Like, I think, of course, we derive from our parents and our heritage, like Asian heritage, but I think there's a lot of very unique things about Asian Australians specifically. That it is a legitimate subculture, and I think I wanted to give it its own space and actually like give it a label, give it its own space, give it its own like spotlight, because so often we get lumped into Asian or Australian, and it's like we're actually kind of both at the same time, but not necessarily strictly one or the other. And that goes for so many people, like East Asian, Southeast Asian, South Asian, mixed race people as well. Like, I think there's so many people who feel very similarly
100%.
sort of outcasted by these two definitions of just Asian or just Australian.
Yeah, they're like not traditional to, like you said, our parents and heritage, but also at the same time they kind of mix. Obviously, being in Australia, you're mixing that Western culture with it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Did it feel like it was a creation for yourself or for the community, or was it kind of? Did it feel like both? Because you mentioned about how you kind of missed that community aspect of a uni group essentially. Did you feel like it was for yourself to feel that fulfillment, or was it more once you started it, it felt bigger than that? It felt like it was for the community.
Uh, Definitely there were some personal motives in starting HOISZN. Like
Yeah.
my job then and still now is as a digital designer. So
Yeah.
everything that I ever did just gets exported as a JPEG or a PNG and gets uploaded to the cloud or
Yeah.
the internet. So
Yeah.
like I think I really wanted to come back to print because I think it's really important to be in touch with printing, like physical artifacts.
Yeah.
I think it's really important for us as creatives to be like published and to have physical artifacts that don't get censored by Meta, that don't get censored by social media. That if our accounts get hacked, if you're a really big artist and your account gets hacked, you like kind of lose so much of your audience that you really do.
Yeah.
It's a really big demotivating factor.
100%. Like your RP is gone. Yeah.
Exactly. So I think like there were some personal motives in that, like, oh yeah, this is a great opportunity for me to refine some of my print skills that I haven't been using lately.
Yeah.
It's a really good opportunity for me to, like, I guess similar to you, like meet new people, sort
Yeah.
of like explore the world around me.
Yeah.
So I guess those are kind of my personal motivators, but I also knew that like I can't make a magazine by myself. Like I don't have, if I put everything about my life into the magazine, it's a diary. It's not really a magazine.
Yeah. It's
So
not
like
really what you wanted. Yeah.
they kind of work in tandem in that, like, if I want to produce a magazine, yes, there's something in it for me, but
Yeah.
also I can't do it without,
People.
yeah, I can't do it without the contributions
Yeah.
of other people as well.
Yeah. Yeah. How did it go about the first magazine? So obviously you had this idea
Yeah.
that you wanted to do. Did you reach out to like just your close circle of like friends initially to say, hey, let's publish something together, like physical and also digital? Or how did that process go about?
Pretty much. I pitched the idea to my friends, and a lot of them were like, that sounds like such a great idea, Dan, but I am very happy not working outside of work, which is very chill. Like, I
Yeah.
completely understand that not everybody wants to have a side hustle. So I was like, okay, that's so chill.
How did you take that? Were you a bit disheartened a little bit, or
I
nah?
mean, if they said yes, great, and if they said no, I'm still gonna do it by myself anyway.
Yeah,
So
okay.
like, I was kind of gonna do it regardless. It was
Yeah.
more just like whether or not they
wanted to join the
were
ride.
interested in
Yeah.
sort of being there from the beginning or not. But they've still really supported me throughout
Yeah, awesome.
the entire journey.
Of course. Yeah.
So, absolutely, like, I don't hold anything against any of my friends for not getting into HOISZN at the ground floor. Like, they've been such huge, like, influences and they've been so supportive
Yeah.
because my friends from uni are also creatives as well. So
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, that first magazine came together by, I put out submissions, and I guess friends, like, obviously the first 100 followers were just people that I knew,
Yeah.
that I had just like sort of announced that I'm starting up a project.
Yeah.
And then eventually came like friends of friends. And so I feel like for a good while, like I was already previously had dabbled in artist circles. So like I'd been at Mellow Art Market before. Like I kind of knew the organizers of Mellow Art Market, other people who are creatives who sell at markets like Rose Street Artist Market as well. So I kind of did have enough of a creative network.
A network, yeah.
Yeah, enough of a network that I was like, I can pull something like this off.
Yeah.
The first issue, I opened up submissions. I did get a lot of submissions from people that I knew.
Yeah.
But also some submissions from people who had just heard of the opportunity.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, that's so great. Like,
That's
thank you
awesome.
so much. Thank you so much. Like, I've never heard of you, but like, I'm really keen to meet you and really keen to like work with your work. Thank you for trusting me.
Yeah.
But the first issue, yeah, towards the end, I was kind of like just asking people like, please, like, if you've anybody I know, like, if you've got any work, like, it was open theme, so it wasn't like
Anything is
was-
anything.
I would take anything. I was like,
Yeah.
I would take anything. Just like, please, please, just if you're interested in being published, just like send it through.
Yeah.
I'm happy to make so many accommodations.
Okay, awesome.
But yeah, our first issue came out in December.
Yeah.
But we actually started. I came up with the idea in like late April, May.
Yeah.
But so I came up with the idea, set it up. So the Instagram account's been around since like May or June. I think it was May. And between May and December, like I actually had two like deaths in the family.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear
So yeah, it was actually a pretty rough time. Like
Oh.
2023 was actually a really rough year for me. So
Yeah.
we had two deaths in the family, kind of like within the span of 3 months. It was crazy.
that. That's terrible.
Yeah, so we had, and in between there, somehow, miraculously, I met my partner
Okay.
right in the middle.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And I crashed my car. Like within
Oh my God.
the winter of 2023, like that was crazy.
At least you'll never forget it.
Winter 2023 was like family death, crashed my car, met my partner, family death again. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, no.
So it was just insane. And I was like, you know what? I know I promised everybody that I'd publish a magazine if they sent me their work in May. But I'm like so grateful that people were just really understanding.
How did you go through that? Obviously, there's that personal grief side of things and what happened. But in terms of the business, like, did you try your best to keep in contact with them, saying, "Hey, I know you sent me some work. Just hold on, I'm going through some stuff at the moment." Or how did you communicate that to the business or to the artist, I should say?
Luckily, it just kind of hadn't gotten off the ground yet. So there was no like, it was all a little bit ambiguous. There was no like there was no promised like date that it would come at.
Yeah.
But I every time we do these magazines and people submit, I always have the email. So sending out emails or at least just one group email to give an update is not very difficult. So I think a lot of people didn't even realize that. I think a lot of people didn't even care.
Okay.
Because I hadn't promised them that I would make them like I wasn't like you'll have it by next month. Like they just knew they were going to be in a magazine at some point.
They just didn't know when. They kind of just
exactly.
Maybe someone just submitted it and just forgot about it almost.
Yeah, exactly. So and because I didn't like reject anybody or anything, so it was kind of chill.
Yeah.
But yeah, people were just grateful for the opportunity. And when I met people at the launch party in December, and I actually told them like why it had taken so long, people were very supportive. Like nobody
100%.
was like everybody was just like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, it's amazing that you actually came back to it. And I do think about that because if it hadn't been for the community part of HOISZN, I actually possibly would have just not finished it.
Yeah, it was like just, a few people submitting it, or like you said, if it was just your work being a diary, maybe you wouldn't have committed to it.
Exactly. If I hadn't committed to publishing other people's work, I possibly, after all of that, and very understandably, would have just been like, nah, screw it, sorry. This wasn't the right time.
Yeah.
But I'm really glad that I stuck with it. And I think that's kind of like where that self-motivation and that community motivation really intertwined for me was because like I set out to do something, but my promise to the community kept me going towards the end when things got hard.
Yeah. I don't want to reflect on the family tragedies that you had, but did that change your perspective on life at all? Not with HOISZN, but as a whole, did that change your perspective on life? That life is maybe too short, or you have goals that you want to achieve. I'm gonna just go do it, or not really?
Not really, but not necessarily because I'm cold-hearted, but because I think like growing up as I actually think. Growing up as a queer person, that's a bit drilled into me more than the fear of death, in the sense that like when you grow up as a queer person and you sort of hear these stories of like the AIDS epidemic of the 90s, like a lot of queer people and a lot of queer excellence has been achieved because queer people just genuinely believe that they wouldn't live that long. Like queer people, like kind of there was this AIDS was happening. I mean, thank God these days it's nowhere near at the impact as what it was then.
Yeah.
But like, I think there's still kind of, as somebody who's openly gay, like I think that's one of the things that I kind of wrapped my head around pretty early is like, there's so many things, so many challenges in life that are just going to come to me as an Asian person, as a queer person, as whatever cards I have.
Yeah.
Like why not make the most of it? So I already like
Had that mindset almost.
I kind of already had that mindset of like just live your life to the fullest regardless
Just
of
keep going. Just keep going.
exactly.
Yeah.
So it didn't take me like a death in my family to sort of come to that realization because
Yeah.
I had already
Yeah.
been of that belief, but it definitely made me feel like, you know what, like now more than ever I need to do this.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it wasn't a catalyst, but it was just maybe more of a
Kept me pushing.
spur motivation almost.
Exactly.
Going back to HOISZN, why is it called HOISZN?
So when I first was sort of freelancing, I was just using my government name.
Yeah.
And I think I kind of experienced a bit of like creative block using my government name. Not,
Yeah.
I think maybe it's because of my deep-seated fear of failure.
Yeah.
But I just something about what if I do this and it doesn't work, and it's my government name. I mean, obviously, I also was not gonna call the magazine my government name. That's kind of fucked up. So I wasn't gonna do that anyway.
I mean, it's about community, but also at the same time, it's your government
Yeah.
name.
So prior to that,
Yeah.
I had already sort of, when I was doing markets, I was just like designing stickers and going to markets. I switched to HOISZN Boy, which is just like literally just an artist name that I came up with in uni.
It's not because you like HOISZN particularly.
Literally, I actually do.
Okay.
I really do like hoisin sauce.
Yeah, okay.
It's my favorite dipping sauce for
Okay.
goikung.
Yeah.
So
So it worked out well then.
it actually did work out well. Like
Yeah.
I was literally, we were at uni. I was telling my friends like, oh my god, you guys got like rice paper rolls. I fucking love rice paper rolls with hoisin sauce. Like I'm just a hoisin boy.
Yeah.
And that stuck. I was like, oh my god, maybe my artist name should be hoisin boy.
Yeah.
So I think prior to hoisin, any of the artistic endeavors that I was doing, I did under the name of hoisin boy.
Yeah.
And then when it came time to turn it into a magazine, I was like, oh, I kind of want to keep a bit of that, of my creative identity
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah.
So the name's not really inspired by community. The name's inspired by
Me.
who I am and my past as an artist.
Yeah.
But still very relevant.
I mean, you're the one publishing it, but at the same time, it doesn't tie you to it. Like, it's not like Dan, is on there or anything like that, or your government name is on there.
There's actually very little mention of me in the
Yeah,
magazines, and
yeah.
I try to keep it that way.
Yeah, yeah. So we've gone back to the first issue. The question that I had was around. So obviously, you had all these artists send stuff through. Like, did you print out the magazines yourself initially, or like, how did that process? I know we chatted about it offline, but
Yes.
how did that first process go in terms of like the first actual physical printout?
Actually, I have it here. The very first printout, I just literally hit up my friend and I was like, hey, like if anyone has any good printers that they've sort of printed with documents,
Yeah.
please let me know and I'll give them a sus. So I just went with like my first friend's recommendation.
So
and
it's
I was
literally just someone's printer, and they were like, "Hey,
yeah,
print
and
us."
like I guess like the paper quality, the paper thickness, I kind of just guesstimated.
Yeah,
I was like, I have a little bit of experience in print.
yeah,
I think it should be this.
yeah,
And it was all right, but I think with every issue we've refined the size, the paper thickness, the like whether it's gloss or matte cover, like all of these things have changed over time.
yeah,
And we've like played around with different suppliers as well. So I think it's been a journey, but at first I just started somewhere. Like I think if I just sat around and let myself get decision paralysis from the beginning and
Yeah.
been like, oh, it has to be perfect. Like I have to do test after test after test.
Yep.
I just never would have gotten it out there.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of creatives sometimes struggle with that.
yeah.
Is like not
It's almost like perfectionism in a way.
yeah, just like not being able to commit to just like if it's 80% there, that's fine. It's good enough.
Yeah,
We got to get it out there.
yeah,
And we'll aim for 85% next time. Aim for
Yeah.
like 90% next time.
yeah, yeah. And this is obviously the latest version here.
Yeah.
So you can compare, the size and the printing, and
I think that one's twice as large as this one.
yeah, it feels like it in terms of like actual like density of it, maybe.
I
Yeah.
think it actually is. Like
Yeah.
I think it's almost twice as large. The paper thickness is better. The binding is better.
Yeah,
There's way more content in there.
yeah.
It's crazy.
That could get it, guys. The team has grown a lot, so
Yes.
it started by yourself. but now it's grown to a team of I think 7 or 8 off the top of my head, maybe a
We
bit
got
less.
10.
10 or 10, even more than
Yes.
so 10.
Yeah.
So tell me about that. Like, how did you grow? How did you grow the business to 10 people? Was it just people, wanting to volunteer and give their time and effort into the business, or how did that come about?
Yeah, so I did the first 3 issues by myself.
Yeah.
And I think they turned out all right considering that I did them by myself.
Yeah.
But originally I was pretty hesitant to grow the team
Yeah.
in large numbers because I was like, this is my baby.
Yeah.
If I can just find 1 or 2 people that I can trust, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
And so I did sort of a first call out for team members, and I think I took on about 5. I think I took on 4 or 6 people.
Oh wow.
I think it was 4.
What made you realize that you needed to scale? Was it the amount of people that were submitting stuff through? You realized, oh, this is a lot more than I can take on, or was it just a time thing with like?
I think it was the admin of it.
Yeah.
I think it was the admin of it, but not necessarily. I actually think it was. I needed to form a team that had skills that I didn't have.
Yep.
So like a lot of the team members who we actually onboarded were more writing,
Yep.
more into literature, like more from the world of literature, more in the world of poetry and writing, because those are not necessarily my strong suits.
Yeah.
Like I can write. I low-key don't really know that much about poetry.
Yep.
I've just never really been a poetry like person.
Not into it, yeah.
But we now publish poetry, but I'm not the one making those executive decisions, and thank God, because I don't trust that I have good taste in poetry because I don't.
You think, oh, this sounds alright.
Yeah, so like we wouldn't have been able to expand in that way without those team members, but I think I wanted to sort of share that writing workload so that I could do more of the admin and design work.
Yeah.
And so from issue 4 onwards is when we actually started publishing more articles and not just interviews.
Yeah.
Because previously the only thing I did was interviews.
Yeah.
So issue 4 onwards we had more actually like written articles, and then I think later on, a couple issues later, I think issue 7, we started to take like writing submissions.
Yeah.
So for a period of time, all the writing was still done in-house.
Yeah.
And then now we've opened it up so that pretty much if you're any sort of Asian Australian creative, you can submit writing, poetry, film, animations, like film and animation stills, like whatever.
What dictated that? Was it your team that you brought on? Obviously, your teams consist of writers, designers, and marketing, like you said. Did they kind of dictate the direction of the magazine in terms of what content, because they had that skill set and knowledge, or was it what you always wanted to do? It just wasn't the first, like you said, 3 editions that had it.
I think I was getting a bit bored of the interview process. I think just like interviewing everyone's a bit intensive, and I was realizing that like not everybody interviews to the same caliber. So like some artists are really great at talking about their work, and they make really interesting interviews because they have lots to say, they have lots of experience.
Yeah.
And some artists, because we do try to feature more up and coming artists as well.
Yeah.
Some artists are not as well practiced in talking about their work and about like, I guess, having a very clear or unique point of view about their work and the world around them. So I think it kind of came from like, maybe if we want to keep doing writing, we need to have a little bit more substance. And I was like, I'm kind of hit the upper ceiling of my ability to do that.
Yeah.
Like I was like, okay, I could get us this far, but to get us like much better writing than this, I can't do this alone and maintain everything else in my life without doing going to go study literature and writing somewhere.
Yeah. Was there like an interview process that you went through to build the team?
Yes. The first, I interviewed, like I just posted that, hey, we're looking for help. And like, I think 20 to 30 people came back, and I was like, whoa, there's so many people. So I just went through, had a look at everybody's applications. And I think like part of recruiting for HOISZN is like, I make it very clear that it's a volunteer role. Like
Yep.
I volunteer my time for HOISZN. Like I run HOISZN. I've put all of the capital from my personal finances into HOISZN.
Yeah.
I don't really like take money from HOISZN. Like I don't pay myself for HOISZN.
Yeah.
And neither do the team.
Yeah.
Like the team also know that it's a volunteering role.
You
So
can't just reinvest the funds, really.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I guess what I do when I look at the people who apply is that I kind of need to figure out a structure where like whatever you're willing to give to working in the HOISZN team,
Yep.
you also kind of equally benefit from.
Ah,
So like
okay.
if you're a writer and you want to volunteer for HOISZN, I also need to try and make sure that there's enough of a benefit that HOISZN exposure, HOISZN portfolio, like
Yep.
any work that you do for HOISZN can reward you in terms of your portfolio or reward you in terms of like
Exposure.
growth opportunities or exposure or whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
It kind of does need to be mutual because I don't want it to just be like
You're taking all the, not benefit, but you're taking all their time and energy, and then they don't really get to see the.
exactly. And I also think like if you take volunteers who are like who put more into HOISZN than they get out of it,
Yeah.
there's sort of a likelihood that they don't really have a need to stick around for a long time.
Yeah.
Whereas if we do sort of nurture that two-way relationship of give and take with volunteers, then there's a bit more incentive for our volunteers to actually like want to be here for a couple of years. And I do have team members who have actually been around for like 2 years now.
Yeah.
Like
Almost
so
pretty much from the start, or when you first started taking applications for roles.
exactly as early as they could have been in HOISZN. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it harder building content or collating the content, or is it harder to actually market the content, if that makes sense?
Market the content.
Yeah. As in, like, is it harder to, build the magazine, or is it harder to actually market the magazine so people actually want to go and purchase it and actually look at it?
Okay.
From your own perspective.
I think it's harder to market the magazine because I dabble in marketing,
Yeah.
but I'm not from marketing world. And like, because I'm a graphic designer, my passion really does lie with the curation, the storytelling, and the design of the magazine. So that to me is not difficult, and I actually really look forward to doing that.
Oh, okay.
I think what I have known for a really long time that we could be better at is like distribution, like just cold emailing, getting our magazine into coffee shops, into bookstores, like
Yeah.
getting us stocked, like that kind of admin side of reaching out, distribution, and marketing. I found quite difficult. I now have marketing team members, so at least our social marketing,
Yeah.
like our online presence and our social marketing is pretty well cared for at this point.
Yeah.
But like still there's so many things regarding marketing that need to sort of occur offline, or at least just like it's offline or it's just paperwork and admin.
Yeah.
And I find it so hard to do that because I'm like, oh, I just want to make like
I just want to make
I
content.
just want to make content. I just want
Yeah.
to make Instagram posts, and I
Yeah.
just want to like do all of the logistics for like this magazine, like make all the pages look beautiful.
Yeah, I don't want to sell it.
I mean, I do want to sell it, but also like,
There's the work behind
why
it,
can't
selling
it just sell itself?
Yeah,
please?
exactly. You touched on it there, that I'm super interested in it. How does one go about getting yourself into like bookstores or like coffee shops? Is it as simple as just cold calling or cold emailing and working it out from there, or what is there a bigger process that sits behind it?
It is pretty difficult as an independent publisher because a lot of bookstores, I guess they have like systems and I guess they have like systems in place. So a lot of booksellers, they kind of want to deal directly with publishers.
Yep.
Like because and I understand like with a publisher you have deadlines are deadlines.
Yeah.
Like contacts are contacts.
Yeah.
Whereas with indie, especially as a side project, indie project,
Yep.
I can't promise that we will deliver on certain deadlines because we're run by volunteers.
Yeah.
And I can't and I also kind of don't want to set those deadlines because I don't want anybody in HOISZN to feel stressed out
Yeah.
for something that they're not even being paid for.
Yeah.
So I think as a community project, it's great, but honestly, indie publishing is actually quite difficult to get into. But you find, I guess, like you find your niches. Like still to this day, where we've found it quite challenging to get into a lot of like stock places. So if
Yep.
anyone's listening, if you've if you've got a place that you could sell HOISZN, please hit me up.
Done.
But I think it's like in my head it sounds so simple, but in practice it's actually like
It's a lot harder than that, or it's not as.
people just ignore emails,
Yeah.
and also I'm not good at following up with them. So like I honestly do think perhaps we'd be better at it if I just like grabbed a box of magazines
Just started.
and just started like going around the city into
Yeah.
any store that looked like it would take them
Yeah.
and just asking.
Yep.
And I know there's merit to doing that. I just haven't. In the last 3 years, I haven't found time to do that.
Add it to the to-do list.
Yeah, it's always sat on the to-do list and never being crossed off.
Yeah.
But like, I think having a team now that it's a lot better in terms of scouting because some of my team members will be like, oh, I saw this place or I contacted this place. So it really helps. But yeah, it takes, I find the marketing side and the distribution side of getting stock really difficult because I don't put enough time and effort into it.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean, that's why you have a team, right? You build a team around, what your skills and what your passions are, really.
Yes.
Is there a moment that you're the most proud of the magazine so far? Having done, soon to be 8 issues now? Was it getting into a certain store? Was it, selling X amount of copies?
I think one of my proudest moments was I'm gonna say there's sort of two, right?
Yep.
So, one of my proudest moments was an event that we did last year Easter. It's called a HOISZN and Friends, where we actually brought together a bunch of similar collectives that operate here in Melbourne. So like,
Well, what's a collective?
so we had Nusantau Gift Shop, we had Platform Presents, Wilty Meets, like Sammy from Wilty Meets.
Yep.
Konji Social Club, Asian Cinema Collective.
Yeah.
I think there was one more.
It's testing your memory, isn't it?
Oh my god.
we had a lot, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
so we brought together, Thread.
Yeah.
They also run like, sort of music events. So I brought together, like I just kind of messaged these guys and said like, hey, like we have a booking for this entire bar.
Yeah.
No venue fee.
Yeah.
We kind of just want to bring the community together. Like,
Yeah.
if you're interested in being part of this event, just like send me through your logo. I'll pop you on the poster.
Yeah.
And just share to your socials. Then we'll bring everybody together.
Yeah.
And like we filled out the place. Like
awesome.
Unfortunately, there was a line to get in at a certain point.
Oh, wow,
night,
that's awesome.
But I was like, that's crazy.
That's
like,
amazing. You didn't think it was going to happen?
No, not at all. Like, previous to that, all of the HOISZN events have been like, 20, 30-ish people in and out.
Yeah.
Like, pretty manageable numbers. Pretty small event, pretty intimate.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh my gosh, like,
There's a line
I
outside.
did something.
There's a line outside, yeah.
And it was crazy, like, having a night where all of these collectives, like, we met each other, and I afterwards saw that, like, some of these collectives, I don't know if they had met beforehand, but
Yeah.
they ended up collaborating later on, and I was like, that is so beautiful. Like,
Yeah.
it's so nice to know that somehow I brought people together, and
Yeah.
they've, like, across the night, I met musician Juniper Kerr,
Yeah.
and he met Claire Riverland, who did Simmer, a short film.
Yeah.
And then they met each other, and then she shot his music video.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, this is just like such a beautiful
Yeah.
space. Like, I'm so glad that I could facilitate that.
Yeah.
Not just for us, but like for literally any Asian Australian creative or anybody who wanted to be in that space. Like, I was very overwhelmed by the support that literally came from all sides.
No, I love that. Is there plans to do more of those kind of events in the future?
I think events is always going to be something that we do, but
Yeah.
I do find that events can be really taxing.
Yeah, no, 100%.
They can be really taxing to actually organize, and
Yeah.
it's like magazine events. Which one should I prioritize?
Yeah,
So
100%.
I think it's about finding that balance for us, and I think like in our first sort of year or two, we did a lot of events. Like
Yeah.
I really threw myself in the deep end with events.
Yeah.
And now I'm a bit more refined about it, where it's like if we're doing an event, I want to do it properly. I
Yeah.
want to do it like I want it to be a decently big or good event that actually justifies all of the work, because the work to do a little event, you might as well do a medium event.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm kind of like, I'm still in the event space, and I do really cherish and think that there is an importance and a need for spaces for our community to gather.
Yeah.
And they're just not always apparent, but I think it's something that I'd like to not stop doing.
Yeah.
Just only do it better.
Yeah, 100%. Or like it'll be, I don't know, in your mind maybe more spaced out, but like you said, it'll be a lot bigger and a lot hopefully better
Yes.
as each one goes on. You mentioned 2 moments that you were proud of. What was the second one?
Oh, so earlier this year we landed in Sydney for the first time.
Yeah.
And that was incredible. We did an event at 4A Centre for Contemporary Asian Art, which is in Haymarket. So those guys have been championing Asian Australian art for like 30 years in their
wow.
gallery. So I think it was a really incredible moment for me to be like, this thing that I do, like literally started in my bedroom and still largely run and operate so much of it from my bedroom and living room,
Yeah.
is recognized by and is collaborating with, I guess, one of the largest Asian Australian, like, from what I can know, the largest Asian Australian gallery
Yeah.
in Australia.
Yeah.
Kind of one of the only spaces doing this.
Yeah.
So it felt really amazing to like take HOISZN interstate,
Yeah.
meet our audience there, be a
Yeah.
part of their programming for their exhibition. And I really hope that we can continue doing more of that. But
Yeah.
like to be able to join what we do with their 30-year legacy of featuring the same community that we're supporting was like
Yeah.
such a huge moment for me.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So you try and, with the magazine, you try and balance, I think from an outsider coming in, you try and balance, I guess, art / storytelling with a business. How do you go about kind of juggling all those aspects about it?
I think that, look, the business is pretty solid. Is solid the right word? It's pretty self-sustaining is
Yeah.
the right word.
Yeah.
So like currently, as I've set it up, obviously we refine things, inflation,
Yeah.
all of that exists.
Yeah.
Rising postage costs, like I'm very aware.
Yeah.
But we managed to grow our audience and diversify our offering, whether that's through merchandise, whether that's through different experiences and events. Sort of diversifying what we offer allows us to explore new things.
Yeah.
But it also allows us to at least break even. And I'm like, if we're breaking even, I'm so happy with that. Like,
Okay.
like it's really not profit driven for me. And I think
Yeah.
if it was profit driven, possibly a lot of the decisions that we'd make would be quite different.
It'd be different, yeah, for sure.
But because it's not profit driven, I don't really care.
Does it make it easier?
I find-
I mean, does it make it easier in some respect that it's not profit driven? We're kind of just focusing on one thing as opposed to both. We're trying to balance the both. Where you're more like, okay, I'm gonna lean more into actually exposing these artists for their work or their creativity in the magazine, as opposed to, oh, I need to get the right stuff in it, but also at the same time I need to make a profit out of this. I need to.
Yeah, pretty much, because we're not profit driven.
Yeah.
I'm just like, the bar of breaking even is so much easier. Like, because once you start paying someone, you have to start paying everyone, right?
Yeah,
So
I mean,
like,
it's a team of 10.
that's it. Like, I still try and treat the team whenever I see them.
Yeah, of
like
course,
whenever
yeah.
we catch up, like I still try and like, get a little coffee or a treat on HOISZN. Like,
Yeah.
I think they at least deserve that. But
Yeah.
I think like, once you start paying one person's X amount of salary, you got to pay everybody's X amount of salary, and then you have to make sure that you make enough money to pay all these salaries. And like, so I think that would be a really big next step for HOISZN.
Yeah.
And we're not quite there yet, but I think for now, because we just got to break even, all I have to do is cover the material costs of running the magazine, and we're not paying for labor.
Yeah.
So because it's so community driven, people like everyone who works on HOISZN wants to be there because of, I guess, just how actively they get to be a part of this creative community.
Yeah, they're putting the time, energy, and blood, sweat, and tears into it,
So I find that kind of balances itself out. Like, I still have to manage it, and I still have to be on top of it, but it manages itself, so then I really can, and with the rest of the team, we really do get to focus on, like, the art and curation and the storytelling of it. And I think it's really important. And I think it's really great that because we're not so timeline and profit driven, that we really get to treat our contributors like human beings.
Yep.
Which I think should be the absolute baseline, in that, like, I really hate to make people feel like they're a cog in a machine.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's really dehumanizing. So I think, like, being able to just put our volunteer time and love and attention into, like, actually celebrating the humans, the creatives, the individuals who are part of our community, who publish their work to our magazine, is so much more impactful. And I think that's why we've, built such a strong, like, community of creatives and readership, because people continue to have very, like, human and positive interactions with HOISZN.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. How do you and your team decide who gets featured in each one?
It's getting harder. Like, now that we're in our third year, like, our audience is bigger than it ever has been. So we have more and more submissions than we've ever had before.
Yeah.
It can be really difficult, but I think it will depend. Two different processes. The writing team sort of do their thing. They read all of the pieces, and they sort of share their thoughts around, like, they'll sort of shortlist.
Okay.
They'll shortlist and be like, oh, I thought this piece was really good. I think it's really nuanced. I think it, talks about this theme in a really insightful way, or whatever. So I guess they sort of shortlist, and then I end up telling them, like, okay, I think, we need, X, this magazine's going to be like 90 pages. So, you got X amount of pages for all of the writing. It's up to you how many you want to fit in there.
Yeah.
So, like, whether we take on, we still try to curate it so that there's a good amount of really, like, high quality and, like, really late, like, very developed artists, like, who are very well into their careers.
Yeah.
But we also make a conscious effort to make sure that people who are, like, earlier stage career still sort of have opportunities to be a part of HOISZN.
Yeah.
So that's something that I do want to balance. And for the art side of things, we try and look at them all on, like, one big board.
Okay.
And again, we shortlist, like, our clear ins. Like, definitely sometimes sometimes you pull up the submissions and you're like, that is beautiful. Like, that's like,
the one.
That's what we had in mind. Like, when we were conceptualizing this magazine, and when we were putting together the mood boards, that fits perfectly in with the vision that we originally had. And that's just kind of like, that's a clear in. Like, such amazing art, such high quality, so on the, like, hits the nail. Like, is perfectly what we were kind of actively looking for. And then we go through the rest of the submissions, and I think we kind of group by like similar themes. So it's kind of like, we have a theme for the magazine, but we're not super prescriptive about it, in the sense that, like, I'm not trying to push an agenda from HOISZN. The agenda literally comes from the community. So if there's, like, if we say, for example, we did the love issue, and half of the contributions are about breakups, then we would be like, you know what? That seems like that's what everyone wants to talk about. Like, everybody, we said we wanted to do the love issue, and everybody is currently in their sad boy, sad girl, like, era, heartbreak era. Fine, let's do it. Like, let's, if that's the overwhelming response and the direction of this magazine, then I'm not going to fight the tide.
That's where it's going. That's where it's going. Yeah.
So we really do sort of our job as curating is just connecting the dots between the stories that sort of
Yeah.
match up. So between the writing, the art, we try and match up all of those notes
Yeah.
to tell sort of the story that our submissions are already telling. We're just kind of like spotlighting those key moments that
Yeah.
really paint a clear picture of what the Asian Australian creative scene is currently looking like.
You bring that to light, yeah. Okay. And what happens, just out of curiosity, if I'm a creative and I submit one and obviously doesn't get into the ninth issue that will come out, like what happens to it then? Does it kind of sit on like a backlog? Do I need to resubmit that, or what happens to that?
I always like something I've never gotten over is feeling bad about rejecting people's work.
Yeah.
And but look, it has to be for the sake of good curation. It has to be done.
Yeah. Of course, you can't have a magazine that's like this thick or
Yeah. So I think the way that I go about it is we just let them know, like, hey, for like, and I'm not shy about having these conversations. Like, if people whose submissions aren't successful in our magazine, if they actually want to like ask and talk, I guess, in more depth as to why, I'm very happy to share, like, oh, we thought this, or just like it didn't align in this way or whatever. I'm very happy to give that feedback because I think constructive feedback
It's important.
is so important. And as a creative, you get knocked back so many times, but it's about how you learn from that.
Yeah.
So for us, I really do hope that no one ever gets rejected from HOISZN and takes it personally.
Yeah.
And is like, oh my God, my work is just shit. Like, it's not.
Yeah.
Like, we actually do get so many good submissions.
Yeah.
But sometimes the submission, like, there's X amount of spots.
Yeah.
And, we've got 11 brilliant pieces. We only got spots for 10.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, for whatever reason, whether it be like, oh, this and this are very similar, but I think this one is a little bit better.
Yeah.
Then unfortunately,
Yeah.
it's a little bit of a comparison game in the sense that like we do have to compare like themes and stuff, but it's never based on the sole like value.
I mean,
of
100%.
art,
100%. It's not about the artist, like you said. It's about
so much of it is also circumstantial and not just down to like how well you can produce art. Like so much of it is what are other people saying?
Yeah.
Is there, has everybody talked about the same thing? And we're like, well, we can't just make a whole magazine based on the same story. Like, we can't just make the love issue talk about heartbreak the whole time because that's boring.
Yeah.
Like, if there's too many of the same theme, we kind of have to curate it down to just like the few star pieces that really capture that. So like, it's never personal, guys. It's never personal. Please don't ever quit the arts because of HOISZN.
Yeah.
It's for whatever reason the stars didn't align.
Yeah.
But I always encourage them to
resubmit
to a future issue. Like, I'm always like, look, we loved your work, but unfortunately, it's just
circumstances. Yeah.
Yeah, for whatever reason, didn't make the curation of this issue. But please, if you have work that's eligible to be submitted for future issues, like, we still want to publish you at eventually.
Yeah. You talked about before how at that event you had people connect post the event or during the event, and then after the event they kind of did their thing. Have you seen that from other creatives that have been published? Like, for example, have you seen one that you guys published and then suddenly they kind of got that exposure and kind of just took off? Like, have you seen people's careers, I wouldn't say change, maybe that's a strong word, but have you seen their career, actually that's the right word, have you seen their careers change and progress since being posted in the magazine?
Yeah, well, I mean, I've had a couple people who've published in our magazine actually reach out and ask if I could be a reference.
Oh,
like a reference on their resume, or like they were applying for, they were applying to hold an exhibition at a gallery or something, and they needed referees. So even just to be in a position to do that alone is like crazy. Like, I'm so great that I'm so grateful that you wanted to be part of my magazine, and now I get to pay back the favor by being a reference for you to maybe find that next step in your creative career.
Did they actually call you? Do you remember?
I didn't get a call from a reference,
Oh, okay.
but I did write a reference.
Oh,
Like,
you wrote a reference.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
like they had sort of couple questions, and I was like, yeah, I'll write a good reference for
Oh,
you.
awesome.
And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah, this person was amazing to work with, and
Yeah.
so
Paying it
like
forward.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think the other day I got a DM from an account, and they had mentioned that they were holding an event, and they discovered the artist who designed their poster through HOISZN.
They discovered. Oh, wow.
So like they had run an event, and they had hired an artist, and they found that artist through HOISZN. And
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, that's also just so incredible.
Yeah.
Like for it, and a couple times as well, like people, organizations, other projects, and people have reached out to me, be like, hey, we need a creative who, like, we need a Korean illustrator for a Korean children's book, or like we need somebody who's like really good at Vietnamese poster design or whatever.
Yeah.
It's crazy to kind of be sitting in that
Yeah.
spot, to be like, some people are thinking of us as the go-to
Yeah.
to ask for to tap into the network, and
Yeah.
I'm like, that's crazy.
That's awesome. That's like you're in, almost indirect way of connecting people together. You're able to see that through, through the magazine and through your work.
Exactly.
These two questions that I had were around more about the creatives, as opposed to the magazine there. But do you think social media has helped or hurt creatives?
I think it has. I'm gonna say helped.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say helped in the sense that, like, if you didn't have social media, the only way for you to get your work out is to literally like paste it on a wall, like literally go and graffiti a wall, or like mail it to. Do you know what I mean? Like if social media didn't exist, it'd probably just be more like studios and prints and stuff like that. But the algorithm hurts. Changes to the algorithm can hurt, when like it can be really difficult for people to sort of stand out. And I think a lot of creatives can sometimes struggle when now the expectation is that you should be on socials, and that you should be on Instagram and have a like Pinterest, Behance portfolio or whatever. I think it can hurt some artists, but I would say at large it's democratized, and I think it's made art more accessible. So
sure.
I want to say it's helped.
For the most part.
It's definitely helped HOISZN.
Yeah.
It's definitely helped HOISZN, and we've definitely used our socials to pay it forward and help out smaller artists and get them sort of that exposure and new fans and stuff like that. So I'm going to say it helped.
Yes. Do you think creatives today, especially for HOISZN, what you've seen, that the ones that have submitted through, do you think they're looking to be part of the community, or do you think they're looking for exposure?
I think it depends on who you are and where you're sort of
at in your career, maybe?
Yeah, because I do think, I mean, I'm just gonna assume that everybody who submits to HOISZN wants a little bit of exposure. Like if you didn't want your work to be seen, you wouldn't send it to a magazine.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, and I don't think it's a vain thing to want your work to be
not
seen.
at all.
Like, as an artist, that's literally how you put money. That's literally how you put food on your table, right?
Yeah.
So like, I really don't think that it's as shameful as it sounds.
Yeah.
But like, I think getting that exposure is amazing, especially as an early stage artist. That really can put a spring in your step to being like propelled way forward, like being discovered, being seen by larger art institutions. Like HOISZN is by no means the biggest art institution in Australia, but it's for us to be one of those stepping stones that is accessible to our community is such a big, like such a big honor that I get to be a part of. So I think I think people sort of come for the exposure, but I like to think that they stay for the community.
Yeah, 100%. This one, I'm going to be careful the way I ask this one.
Yeah.
Do you think that creators are just copying each other these days? I think it's probably very simple for me to ask and say, but do you see that as a pen? Like, do you think people are just either coincidentally or on purpose even? Like, do you think a lot of artists are just copying each other?
I think there are ways to be inspired by artists, and ways to to copy.
Yeah.
I think if you're a creative or a practicing artist, I think from an ethics point of view, you kind of should know what those differences look like. But
Yeah.
even then, like, I mean, I don't think it's a modern thing. I don't really think it boils down to these days, because back in back in the times of French Impressionism, like, artists would do studies of each other's artwork. Like,
Yep.
you know, Claude Monet would study from other artists before him. So, like, I think it's very normal for artists to study each other's works, to study each other's techniques. Like, it's very normal to share practices.
Yep.
So I don't necessarily think that it's about copying, but I think there is definitely a fine line between, like, inspiration and copying, and I think, like, how honest you are about your influences. And, you know, artists are not shy these days to call out, like, if they feel like their work is being ripped off, or if they feel like somebody's copying their work. People are not afraid to have those conversations, and I
Okay.
think that's a, like, it's good.
It's a good thing, yeah.
But, like, you know, there's nothing wrong with, if you as an artist, like, I want to study, you know, I'm not good at cartoons. I want to study somebody else's cartoon drawing style. I'm
Yep.
going to copy it exactly.
Yeah.
Sure, you can do that, but you can't go off and be like, well, I made this, my original work.
Yeah.
But you can be like, hey guys, look at this, like, Bart Simpson cartoon that I learned to draw. And it's like, well, obviously it's not like,
Yeah.
yeah, you drew it. It's not your character design.
Yeah.
But, you know, great that you're upskilling.
Yeah.
You know, we all got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
But it gets to a point where it's like, how much ownership are you taking of
Yeah.
of work that's been inspired?
Yeah. How much is it really yours, inspired, like you said, and how much of it is purely copying, really?
Exactly. But also these days, I think there's a lot bigger of a culture of parody and, like, oh my god, what's the word? It's an art word. It's an artwork. Appropriation.
Appropriation, yeah.
Like, I think there's so many right and wrong ways to do it, but I think, like, I think just even meme culture, you know, it's the wild west of the internet. People
Yeah.
like repost memes, remake memes,
Yeah.
you know, the same punchline in a meme reoccurs in a different sort of.
Different form.
Sometimes it's just not that big. Like, sometimes if it's just a silly little sketch, it's just really not that big.
Yeah.
But if you're, like, you know, gonna make, like, if you're gonna make your whole career out of something that you've stolen from somebody else, like, maybe that's not gonna fly.
That's where the issue comes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We talked about it offline there, Dan, but where do you want to take HOISZN? Let's say, maybe not 5-10 years, seems far away, but double the length, 3 years' time.
Yeah.
We're sitting here having the same conversation, or different conversation, sitting in the same seat, or wherever we're sitting. What does HOISZN look like, and what does success look like for the business?
I'm actually pretty happy with how HOISZN is at the moment. And honestly, I think, like, for HOISZN, I've kind of hit a ceiling where I'm like, if HOISZN was to grow more, I'd need to spend more money and more time on
Yeah.
it, which I kind of, at this point in my life, like 3 years into it, I'm kind of like, you know what? I kind of want some of my own personal time back in my life.
Yep.
Like, I gave a lot of it away in the first sort of year or two.
Yep, starting it up.
So I think where we're at, I actually wouldn't mind just continuing to be, like, here, just growing slowly, like,
Yeah.
growing at a very, like, maintainable speed.
Yeah.
And just improving, small improvements. Like, I'm not really looking to do some kind of, like, big plunge or big, like,
Yeah.
you know, quit my job, go full time on the magazine. Like, I know print, you know, magazines don't sell like they used to. It's not the 90s. Like, people don't buy magazines like they used to. It's kind of a collector's item. Like, magazines in general are kind of a collector's item in the way that vinyls are. Like, people collect,
Yeah.
you know, a few that they like. Like, people are not, you know, people are not, like, the only way to listen to music is through vinyl anymore. So I know that, like, I'm not trying to reopen that market. I don't think it'll get there.
Yeah.
But, like, you know, HOISZN kind of sits almost in direct competition with my financial goals. Like, any hope of me owning my own property,
Yeah.
and, like, you know, starting the next chapters of my life,
Yeah.
like, kind of almost lives in direct like competition
Yeah.
with HOISZN. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of like I'm happy with what we've got now.
Yeah.
And if we could honestly be in the same position, just still pumping out amazing magazines with brand new artists, like a new community of artists, a growing community of artists, I think that would be enough for me.
Yeah. It keeps your cup full, really. By the sounds
Yeah,
of it.
keeps my
But-
hand busy.
but-
Keeps my hands busy. Keeps me out of trouble.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to ask was, you have a team of 10. How do you go with the people management side of things? Is it something that you had experienced before, like, leading a team of people before? Or was it completely new to you when you had, your applications open and a team is now grown from, 4 to 6 when you first started to now 10?
Yeah, I had done like a little bit in work. Like I'm not that early on in my like. I mean, when I started HOISZN, I kind of was earlier on in my career. At this point, I actually am very interested in people management. Like,
Okay.
like I said, I'm very interested in I'm very interested in communicating with people. I'm very interested in working with people,
People in general, yeah.
and I'm very interested in making sure that like we engage in human experiences and we treat other people well. Like I think that's such a baseline for me.
Yeah.
So I like it. Like I think if anybody ever turned around and said to me like, Dan, you're a tyrant, I'd probably retire. I'd probably be like, okay, well, you know what? I'm not fit for the job. I'm not going to make your lives hell anymore.
Yeah.
But like, I think it's so important to treat people well. And so that the people management side of things, I actually really do enjoy. Like having open communications with my team, sort of them knowing what my expectations of them are, what kind of deadlines and what kind of pressures we're working up against, and how much they're able to volunteer their time, and then I'll coordinate the rest. So like I really enjoy people management. I'm maybe just born to be a middle manager, I don't know, but I do really enjoy management. I think I've had shitty management experiences before, and I think anything that I can do to make sure that people aren't having shitty management experiences.
I'm not like that person.
Yeah. Anything that I can do to make the world better by not being a shitty manager is like something that I would want to be.
Yeah, 100%. No, 100%. No, you learn from others, right? Whether it's good or bad. And sounds like you've learned from, unfortunately, sometimes shitty managers.
I mean, I've generally had good managers throughout my life, but I've had, no manager is perfect, and I've tried to always look up to them for the right things and learn from the things that I didn't quite like about
them. You didn't like them, 100%. Well, Dan, we've almost gone just over an hour now.
Okay,
I can't believe it. But I'd love to do a part 2 with you. I'd love to catch up with maybe you next time, or maybe one of your team members as well.
That sounds good.
To see how yourself has gone and the business has gone. But a closing tradition that I always have on this show is to ask my guest, what is the best advice you've ever been given?
Oh, you know what? I should have seen this one coming. I'd listened to the podcast. Honestly, it's kind of like the first quote that pops into my mind, but it is a quote that I genuinely, I ironically live by, but also now unironically live by. And it's just fake it till you make it. Like,
Fake it till you make it.
We started off with such a flimsy, shitty little 40-page magazine.
It's not that bad. Come on.
I mean, it's not bad. It's really not that bad. Like some of the content in there is really amazing.
Yeah.
But still, fake it till you make it. Like, I was operating secretly a full magazine under the guise of a side project.
Yeah.
So now I've just embraced it and be like, we're a magazine.
We're a magazine. Yeah.
But I previously was like, we're a zine, we're a small publication, we're just we're small, we're really independent, it's really not nothing big. And then now I'm you know what, it's a magazine.
What was the shift? Was there a mindset shift or a moment that you go, nah, this is bigger than just, in your own words?
I think it was the zine fair. We applied for the zine. So originally we called ourselves a zine.
Yeah.
Which is, a zine is typically a small independent magazine, a very, very small publishing, small press.
Yep.
More hand made stuff.
Oh, okay.
Kind of just printed, folded, and just sent out.
Oh, okay.
So very, very lo-fi is what a zine is.
Yep.
And I kind of aligned ourselves with a zine ethos, but eventually we applied to be in the zine fair.
Yeah.
And we kind of got rejected, and I was like, you know what? That's fair. We're just, you're right. We're not a zine.
Yeah.
We're a magazine. Like we kind of just are a magazine. We're not really a zine. And you're kind of right to reject us because we're not actually a zine. Like, you know what?
Yeah.
Fine. I'll
Like,
face the.
Screw it. I'm gonna do
Yeah.
it. Screw
Like
it.
I can't just keep pretending that we're like some small stapled together zine. We're kind of not that. Like,
Yeah.
we go through professional printers. Like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
We're a magazine.
My magazine. Yeah.
But yeah, like, fake it till you make it. I feel like it was kind of always secretly a magazine,
Yeah.
and I was kind of faking my way through it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know what I was doing then, and in some aspects now, I still don't freaking know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But you learn by doing, and I think having that confidence and that ability to
Yeah.
just like allow yourself to just be like 80%'s good enough. Like,
Yeah.
fake it till you make it. It's a
Yeah.
magazine if I say it is.
Yeah.
Eventually, it really is. Like, now I'm looking at the latest issue, and it is the most magazine looking that HOISZN has ever been.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of glad that we eventually got there.
Yeah. No, you're not proud of yourself and your team, obviously. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's awesome. And I really like we talked about there. 80%. Like sometimes it's good enough, just to either publish your work or publish that post or apply for a new job or whatever. 80% sometimes good enough.
Definitely.
No, awesome. I think that, like I said, I'd love to get you on for part 2
Yes.
in the future, but I'm sure you got some people you want to shout out, but also let the viewers know if they want to contact you or get their work published in HOISZN, how to do that.
At HOISZN, careful with the spelling, it's HOISZN.
Yep.
HOISZN on TikTok, Instagram, HOISZN.com, same spelling. Any of these channels will work.
Beautiful.
I try to treat like I do reply to our DMs. Like,
Yeah.
I try to treat
I can't
people
confirm
like
those
people.
guys. Yeah, so I'll link your details and also HOISZN details in the comment section and down below there. So yeah, guys, get a copy of the latest issue that's gonna come out, number 8, the love issue.
Yes.
And all the other ones as well. But thanks for listening, guys. Thank you, Dan, for coming on. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, give us high ratings, and I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks, Dan.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. That was awesome, man.